Hey folks, you know why? Um, I know a lot of people have been questioning. It's not just one or two people. It's been quite a few people questioning. So when this whole Ladner movement, my parents sold this house, like, oh, Joe, you could go afford your own place. Oh, well, you could go. You don't have to move with them. Okay, well, here's the situation, and a lot of you should know the situation. Pretty much last year was a clusterfuck for me. 2017, from pretty much almost from start to beginning. Quitting beginning of January, I had my car broken into just just to start it all off. Right now, the BC Rental Board tried to say that 1575 a month for a one bedroom is going to be the norm. So, um, my average check, and this is if I'm not sick, don't have dues and all that crap, it's about 1800. Yeah. So literally it would be one entire check would just cover rent. That doesn't include amenities, internet, cable, any of that stuff. But anyways, well, here's how it went. As a lot of you guys know, last year both my grandparents on my dad's side got very sick. One with a broken hip and one with some kind of like ammonia like thing. Then my grandmother on my mom's side got struck with cancer. Hey sugar, how's it going? And then part of my family had different things. Then things piled up for me, which is then where I ended up on stress leave. I was off work for 3 months. Hey, what's going on, White Tupac? Alright, welcome, sugar. So, yeah, so I ended up on medical leave for 3 months, even though I had medical insurance. I did not see a check. Oh, shit, Tupac. It was sugar, but this is all in the past. But this is like my past is what kind of getting into for my future. So went on the stress leave, medical leave. First month I didn't get a single dime. During this time, my parents go away. I had no one to borrow money from at the same time. Not that I would have even really wanted to ask them. So I was living on my credit cards for the first month and change until I got my first medical insurance check. And on top of that, just to get the money, I had to pay $280 just to get the paperwork filled out for my doctor to send to this medical company before I even got my first check. So I was literally way behind the 8 ball before I even got my first fucking check from the medical leave. And story kept repeating itself. I ended up only with 2 checks for 3 months off. So I only ended up with like 2 months worth of pay, and it's only 80% too, 80% of my wage. So 2 months of reduced pay for 3 months. Well, I'm already behind now on my credit cards because I'm using my credit cards to stay alive, put food in me, make sure my car, I had to put my money from my credit card, do cash advance to my debit card just so I made sure my car insurance was taken out properly and stuff, phone bills, all that kind of jazz. So that's why all of a sudden people keep saying, oh, well, you lived with your parents, yada, yada, yada. Well, yeah, I did, but I had a whole lot of expenses then, and then I'm still catching up on some of them now. So by the time I finally got the final medical check, it's like, yeah, well, it covered my credit card and not even to the amount that I ended up spending and losing. You on SM? You was SM. What does that mean, Sugar? SM. Um, but so then shortly after, finally get back to work. That's what, August, late August. Um, what was it? So starting to finally catch up on my bills. I end up having my stomach problems again. So I missed like 4 days of work. Thanks, Sugar. Yeah, it is. Well, I kind of have no choice, especially when rent's $15.75 a month for a red one bedroom where I am. So, um, now, even though I just started getting back to work, boom, gets my stomach problems, and missed 4 days, which that's a lot of money. And then shortly after, boom, that's when I get in my car wreck and ride off my Monte Carlo on that date from hell. So as I'm starting to slowly try to catch up, I keep getting the rug pulling out of my leg. I mean, that's life. I can't complain. I'm not gonna cry about it and say I was dealt a bad hand or anything like that. It's just life. It's just the way the world turns. What is, I could say, is a bad hand, but it's not because someone dealt it to me. It's because I played a bad hand. Whereas after that car wreck, knowing I'm not in the greatest financial shape, but because I was so desperate to get a car to replace my Monte Carlo, because there's a lot of people know over the year that car meant the world to me. So I see the Pontiac G8, 12.5. Yeah, I mean, one of the coolest purchases I made, but now I'm on the hook for 3.5 more years at about $400 a month car payments on that car. And on top of that, I also got to pay over $215 insurance a month. So that's $615 right there just for that car. See, this is where I could say, you know what? For somebody that knew he needed to save money, somebody that knew that he was behind the eight ball a little. Stupid me. I got no one else to blame but me. I needed that fancy car, so I went and bought it. Or got a loan and got it. So, a lot of that stuff was out of my control. Again, like I said, I got no one to blame. It was just the life. And I'm not going to say it was dealt a bad hand. But I did not help myself whatsoever getting that car, because now in such that short time of having this car, I've already dropped over $2,000. Let's see, I took possession of that car, I think October 30th, or maybe it was on Halloween, right on Halloween. So I took possession of that car and I've already dropped a couple grand. Parts, fluid changes. And of course, because being a rear-wheel drive and being the fancier car, I'm like, well, I got to go get another wheel set with winter tires. I spent more money in the couple months of owning that G8 than I had in the Monte Carlo. Let's see, I owned the Monte Carlo for about 6-7 years. And I probably put, I mean, all in all, I probably put $5,000 in the Monte Carlo in those 5-6 years. 2-3 months of owning the G8, I've already put $2,000 in. So yeah, so you can see where also too, it's like, it's not only just the car itself is a shock to my wallet, but keeping the car running properly is now kind of but that's kind of the price I pay. So sorry guys, I needed that. Just getting off work. But so let's get to my points of what I feel my friends, and then also Facebook friends and YouTube friends have been asked, well, you've lived with your parents. Well, that's awesome, Sugar. Thanks for understanding. But so people are like, well, you live with your parents, but I pay my parents rent money. It's not like I'm living here scot-free. It's not like I could go behind and back paying rent. There was one odd time, and that was back when I was, again, when I was on medical leave. The reason why I didn't have to pay rent was because it wasn't that I didn't have to pay rent. I didn't have to pay rent for a couple weeks because I was doing my parents a solid. They took off to their vacation, so I was pretty much taking care of the entire fort. And as a lot of you guys seen different videos, this isn't exactly a small fort to be keeping a freaking eye on. Tons and tons and tons of housework that constantly needs to be done. Well, I mean, that's all going to be over and done with now anyways in a couple months, since this house is going to be up for sale this Friday anyways. But, so, yeah, so, I mean, it's not like, my parents will throw me on my ass if I don't give them their fucking rent money. Don't kid yourselves and not think they would throw me on my ass, and rightfully so, that's another thing too. It's not like I just live here scot-free, don't pay my way or any of that shit. I do. So it's not like, oh, well, you live with your parents, you can go save $1,000 a month. No, well, the money you guys think I'd be saving, I'm actually paying them rent, and rightfully so. I got zero complaints about doing that, because one, I'm not paying $15.75 like the British Columbia Renters Association thinks that should be the average price now for that, which I just don't get how they could say that when when I'm lucky to have the job of making $30 an hour, but that's still even a ridiculous. So now take somebody that's only making $15 an hour, that their entire month's wage is $15.75 a month, and you're telling them that they pretty much, oh, well, they got a roof on their head, but you can't eat, you can't dress yourself, you can't do anything like that. No, sugar, I live in Vancouver. Pretty much right now, for prices, it's pretty much Canada's version of Cali. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure, sugar. It's literally become Canada's version of California, especially the attitude with a lot of people here. They think they're all fucking Hollywood, but that's a different story for a different day. I'll hash out later, and I've probably already hashed out many times. So, like I say, it's not, sugar, it's crazy. My parents right now, this house right now, the assessed value, like the value the government claims to be, like the assessed tax value, $1.58 million. My parents aren't fucking millionaires by any fucking stretch of the imagination. They just happened to just buy this house 20 years ago at $330,000 or whatever the hell they paid. But that just shows how much inflation. So their house over 20 years has become pretty much almost $1,300,000 value over 20 years. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't have been that much, but again, I won't get into this. It's a different conversation for a different time, but it just is, and I mean, that's not me being a race baiter or trying to make anything racist. It's people even saying themselves, their own government's even saying themselves in this public news, but it's just the Chinese market. Chinese people bought here huge. Especially a lot of ones that are tied in gangs, ones that are tied in a bunch of illegal business practices and what have you. A lot of them are using their embezzled money, funding it through our property, and that's what happened. Next thing you know, a place that used to there'd be for sale signs in my neighborhood for, like, places would sit for 6 months before anybody would even look at it. The last couple years, the moment that house goes up for sale, it doesn't even sit on the freaking market for more than 1 or 2 days. So it just shows what happened and how hot the Chinese market became. And again, I'm not trying to make this a race thing or anything. I'm friends with Chinese guys who are even saying the same thing. There was a Chinese economist that called this thing 5 years ago and tried to tell the Canadian government to wake up, but they never did. And now it's proven that a lot of the houses that got bought here was with a lot legal money, laundering money, illegal drug trade money, illegal gambling money through different Chinese criminal activities. The Chinese government has publicly even said they're going to start seizing property from these people from here, seizing property in Canada from these people. But I mean, it's just kind of too little, too late now. The house that should maybe retrospect me on with inflation maybe be worth maybe 900 grand, but now like 1.57 or 1.58. So yeah, again, so a lot of people are wondering why I can't exactly afford. Well, those would be pretty much the prime example of it all. And I mean, again, some of that is my own stupidity. Again, including going out and getting the Pontiac G8. But I mean, I got myself a collector's car. They only made that car for 2 years. So, and the Pontiac brand is also shut down. So, who knows? Yeah. So that's all I wanted to get off my chest today. Because yeah, it was quite a few people saying like, why can't you? Because there's a lot of you guys know I'm saying I don't want to move to Ladner. There's nothing in Ladner for me. Ladner is it's just a dead town. There's no bars. There's nothing. It's pretty sad. The town in Ontario I used to live with a population of 5,000 people, Picton, has more fast food restaurants than Ladner, which has got like, I don't know, 25, 50,000 people, but it's right along a bunch of major cities. But that's the way she gerts. Anyhow, White Tupac, Sugar Bay, thanks for guys stopping in. Guys, check out their channels. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you guys for stopping in tonight. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. You guys all have a good night, good one. Goodbye and good night. Peace. And take care. Thanks again, Sugar, for stopping in.